What a beautiful way to begin our time together. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the First Unitarian Church of Pittsburgh. It is Sunday, December 8th of 2024. I am the Reverend Dr. Kate R. Walker, and I am truly honored and privileged to serve as the minister of this beloved community. I use the she, her pronouns, and for those with visual disability, I'm a middle-aged, light-skinned female with mid-length light brown hair. I wear glasses, and today I have on a lace blouse with a Christmas holiday blue stole with candles on it. And my beloved, you are all welcome here. If you are here in person, if you are joining us on YouTube now or in the future, we are delighted that you have chosen to be with us this morning. If you are a longtime member, you've been coming and warming your pew for decades, we're delighted that you are here. If you are brand new and never been here before, we are delighted to have you here this morning. And we would like to get to know our new members and new visitors. We have a welcome desk in the garden lobby. We invite you to be in touch with us through one of the volunteers who are on that desk. You can also explore our website, and we invite you to sign up for our newsletter, which is found at the bottom of the main page, where you can sign up and through our MailChimp services and start getting a newsletter. We are a multi-faith religious community where all are welcome. We are a community of many beliefs, many origins, many sexualities, many genders, many questions, and some answers occasionally as well. Just as you are, however you arrive, you are welcome. We are a very active community, and there's always something going on around here, and we hope that you find a way to get connected. I would begin with a correction to the newsletter that went out. There is no Sunday forum. You may have noticed that if you came at 9. But the good news is it was postponed and rescheduled to January 12th. So if you were meant to come at 9 and you did not a problem. We've got you covered, January 12th. What is happening today at noon, we are having our December congregational meeting. This is that wonderful, wonderful congregational meeting you have all been waiting for, where we update you on the budget. Yeah, I know. It's like Christmas. You get to open up the budget and see what's inside. So Kyle Gracie will be joining us, and that will be cast on both in person here in our sanctuary as well as on Zoom. You can get, if you need to go home, you can get that link. It was mailed out to all members of the congregation as a reminder early this morning or yesterday, but it was just recently sent out. But here's the thing. If you stay through that budget, and you don't get to vote on the budget, so that makes it so easy. The board votes on the budget. But if you stay through that whole thing, you will get to hear the results of the poll that we took on what the new banner will be on our bell tower. Now I've got their interest. So I will review the results of our poll for what is going to be the new banner. And we'll also have a brief conversation about the proposed change from the Unitarian Universalist principles to our new values statement. So we'll also have a brief conversation about that. Emails were sent out about that a few weeks ago. We'll send out some more emails because we know we have to save it 5 different times, 5 different ways, and you still say you don't know what's going on. That's fine. Another exciting thing, the board would like your feedback on how they are performing as your board. Isn't that great? They want your feedback. So, which means hopefully you've been paying attention and you know how to give feedback. So there is a congregational survey. It went out in the link in the newsletter, but you can also find it on our website. Off the whole page, just click news down to congregational news, and you will find a link under help assess the board. So, two more things. Slight change in the correction in the order of service. Number 55 is actually titled Dark of Winter. You may not have noticed that, but that's fine too. But just for those who do notice. And one more exciting thing. You ready? You ready? You ready? The Christmas dragons are out. All right. So all ages, come on up after the service. And the Christmas dragons arrived a few nights ago. They flew in out of the rafters where they hang out through the year, and they're here to help take care of this congregation, but they are out for their annual opportunity to be admired. That's what they're here for. So I invite you now to arrive as well in body and spirit as we come together in worshipful experience. We find ourselves connected to one another, and we turn to our chalice lighting, the symbol of our faith. Two circles of Unitarian and Universalism with a light guiding us through the night. And friends here to help us with our tasks of living every day. In this month, we are inviting you in to explore what it is to be a blessing and to receive blessings. And we turn to the season of Advent on this second Sunday. And this second Sunday of Advent, we are reminded to be patient. We light the flame and hope that darkness will be dispelled in this holiday season. And may the darkness of winter be dispelled in this festival of lights. And may the darkness of ignorance be dispelled in the strength of compassion, of reason, and of sharing. Welcome to you all. We invite you to stand as you're able in body and spirit for our opening hymn, 224, Let Christmas Come.
Well, howdy. I'm Ward Kelsey, the liturgist for today. I'm also one of those people that keeps pews warm in the same spot every Sunday for many years now. I'm a full-blown official geezer. I'm about 6 feet tall. I have less and less hair. I'm wearing a sort of a plaid jacket and a rust-colored shirt, and it's good to see you all here. We have a nice crowd here. I had no sense about how much people love to come to budget hearings. Anyway, so what I would like to ask you now to join me in the collective reading, which you'll find printed in your order of service. We covenant to affirm and promote the inherent worth and dignity of every person, acceptance of one another, encouragement to spiritual growth in our congregations, a free and responsible search for truth and meaning, the right of conscience, and the use of the democratic process within our congregations and in society at large. Goal of world community, with peace, liberty, and justice for all, and the independent web of all existence of which we are a part, journeying towards spiritual wholeness by working to build a diverse, multicultural, beloved community, and our actions that accountably dismantle racism and other oppressions in ourselves and in our institutions.
Good morning. Yeah. Yes, actually, so I'm Erica Shadowsong, Lifespan Religious Education Director. I have short cropped hair, brown skin. I'm wearing a gray turtleneck, black pants. And I am here to tell you a story today. So anybody who would like to come up and listen to the story, young and young at heart, please feel free to come on up. You're in for a treat for this one. Do you guys remember what this is called? Yeah. It is a chest. It is a chest. We have, our chest is a special chest. We call it the Wonder Box because we wonder what's inside it, right? So, would somebody like to find out what's inside? Yes, Arno? Okay, Arno's going to open the Wonder Box and pick up what's in it. Air. Air is part of what's in it. Yeah, they're really tiny, I know. There's 3 of them. Okay, can I take one of those? And then you can show those to everybody up here. Now, this is really difficult to see, but these are beautiful, tiny little jeweled beads. Just gorgeous little beads. I'll pass them even around. And that has to do with our story called Indra's Net. This is a story from Mahayana Buddhism. Hopefully I said that correctly. And the Buddha is one of those teachers. He's one of those teachers that we still talk about. One of those teachers who we still learn from, right? A very, very wise person. Lots of people came to listen to the Buddha. He had many students. One day there was a student who was listening to the Buddha, and he looked out at the world and at everything, and he said, "Teacher, can you tell me what is the foundation of everything that exists? What does it all come from?" And the Buddha said, "The foundation of everything is Indra's net." See, Indra is the god of thunder and lightning and all of the forces of nature that make up life and the world. And over his palace in the heavens, he hung a net that went from infinity to infinity, that goes from infinity to infinity. But the special cool part about this net is that at every corner of the net is one of these little jeweled mirrored beads. And the student who was listening said, "Wow, but where are these gems? Where are these beads in the universe?" And the Buddha said, "Every person, every plant and tree, every insect, every speck of dust that flies up into the sunbeams, and every feeling and every thought, everything that has ever existed is one of those little beads, one of those jewels. And if you look at them, they reflect each other, and they reflect everything all together. And so you and you and you and you and all of you are beads, are those gems, those beautiful gems in the universe that reflect every person, every plant and tree, every animal, every insect, every speck of dust that flies up into the sunbeams, every thought that has ever been had, every feeling that has ever been had, everything that has ever existed and exists right now, all is in you. and you are in awe. And that was so exciting and so beautiful to the student that he started to cry. Sometimes we do that when something feels a certain way. And the tear that fell down his face reflected all of the beautiful stars in the sky. And the Buddha said, finally, this is why I ask all of you to take care of the happiness of everything that exists, every being, even if you're not sure if it is alive to you the way you think of life. If it thinks and if it feels, take care of everything, because everything is you and you are everything. And that is Indra's net. So I'll take that. Thank you so much, Arno. You guys can have a seat now. Thank you for helping me tell the story. Can we give them a hand? Thank you. Now, before we sing you guys out, I want to make a quick announcement. Because the pageant is coming up this year, the Christmas pageant, and it's coming up really, really early this year. It's next week. So that's why I want to bring it to your attention. Now, I am going to have a sign up go out by email to all RE families, but if you have questions about it, about how everything's going to happen, how are the costumes going to happen, all that stuff, or if you're not on the list and you want to know, please shoot me an email. Send me an email and ask me, and I will give you all the details. Otherwise, you will receive that information today by email. Thank you.
Can you help me with the hand motions?
I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. You I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
One of my very favorite things to do in a community is to welcome new members. So we have several people who have joined in the last few months, and some of them are available to be with us this morning. So I'm going to call out everybody's name, and if you are available, I invite you to please come forward and to bring your order of service with you. So, Greg Andrews, if you're feeling comfortable, please come forward. And for Greg, this was a return to our community. We're so glad to have Greg back. Joanne Flanagan, who? Oh, she just went to take her, okay, grandson, okay, yep, off, but Joanne will be back in a moment. We also have, thank you. Todd Harvey and Matt Howell, who were unfortunately at the last minute were not able to be with us this morning. And Sarah Holler, who had something else to do. Yulia Kornberg, who many of you know and are probably surprised, what, she wasn't a member? No. But she agreed to become a member, and we're just so delighted. And Andy Norman as well had been coming to this community for a long time and has agreed to become a member but couldn't be with us. Tessa McCarthy, are you with us this morning? Tessa, yay, come on down, there she is. Joanne, come on down. There you go, come on and just, yep. Joanne, yep, you're. Elizabeth and Daniel Cervansky, are you here? Oh, there they are back there. And they're a package deal. We're so delighted. I have a wonderful new family with us. And Kurt Summersgill, there you are with your holiday shirt, thank you. And many of you already know Kurt as well, who has been singing with us and helped with the board, and we're just delighted to welcome you back into leadership and membership, just absolutely delighted. So would you all please offer your affirmation in whatever form, applause, yelling, screaming, dancing. And we do have some words. There's a responsive reading in our order of service. And I play the part of the minister. You play the part of the congregation. And I invite, even if you're not a member, if you are a community member but are interested in becoming a member, if you want to sign the book, I invite you to please come see me or Amy DeKikis. Are you in the room? Are you? Yep. Yep, and Joan Harvey. Yep, there they are, down the, come see any of the three of us. We would be happy to talk to you about that. So, the part of the congregation is anybody who's in the room, okay? Have you, the members and friends of this congregation, prepared a place in this community and in your hearts to receive these people into fellowship? We have prepared a place for them. We receive them warmly and with great rejoicing. Then let us all rise as we are able in body and spirit, as we welcome them by saying these words together. We, the members and friends of the First Unitarian Church of Pittsburgh, welcome you into our religious community as new members. In sharing our lives together, we join our tongues with yours, believing that together we can renew our spirits, grow as people, and find strength in helping others. We are glad you are among us. You guys get the next part, the new members. Go. We
willingly join this religious community and support your efforts to search for, create, and celebrate meaning in life. We are glad to be among you.
I now charge you as new members of the First Unitarian Church of Pittsburgh to share with us your creative thoughts, your vital life experiences, your questions, your doubts, your discoveries, and the principles which matter most to you. I charge you to shake us up with your honest thinking, to stir us with your conscience, and to stimulate our hopes with your dreams. Welcome to this blessed community. I just love this part. Yeah. So the generosity of this community is marked by every month, and we have chosen a community organization to share our financial generosity with you. And we are absolutely delighted to welcome representatives from the East End Cooperative Ministry, the Reverend James Darnell Leonard and Jim Sofietti, excuse me, who also happens to be Joanne Flanagan's son. So please come forward and they will share with us. Yep. Yeah. And you're welcome to come here to the podium. Yeah.
We decided that we're going to tag team a little bit, if that's all right with all of you. First of all, let me say that we are glad to be here. And how many of you are glad just to be alive? Come on. Because that means we all still have purpose, right? And so we come because you have joined with Eastern Cooperative Ministry in a marvelous purpose. And that purpose is healing the wounds of broken lives. Extremely important, extremely necessary, and powerfully helpful. I'm going to let James talk a little bit about what we do, what the impact of this church is, this people is, this congregation is, and then I'll tell you a little bit about what it means.
So you guys help feed about 500 people daily, about 5,000 people monthly, and about 50,000 people monthly, and about 120,000 people yearly. We have services for breakfast for our residents and for right now our emergency shelter, covering 52 permanent residents or semi-permanent residents, and then 20 people who come to our cold weather shelter nightly during these winter nights. We serve lunches for 150 people on average daily, Monday through Friday. We serve another 72 people, both our residents and the cold weather shelter, for dinners. You guys help serve over 1,600 people, 1,600 families monthly through the pantry, and you serve a huge demographic slice of everyone that lives in Pittsburgh. Black, white, native-born, immigrants to our nation. You guys help everyone make sure that they come to our town, come to our city, they receive what they need to make sure that they can have a safe and fruitful life.
In the Gospels, there is this powerful story about a man who was going through Jericho and he was beaten up by thieves. In our city, in our time, there are people who, for a myriad of reasons, are going through the city and they are experiencing all kinds of trauma. One day I was standing in our lunchroom and a man came over to me and he said, "I need help." He spoke that in broken English. He had come here from Mexico. And he began to tell me a story about the fact that he had been addicted since he was 15 years old. He was now in his early 30s. And he said, "I can't stop, I can't stop, I can't stop. How can I unless somebody help me?" And so we were able to enter him into our shelter. There were staff people who put their arms around this gentleman. There were others who came alongside and helped him get that hot meal. And still there were others who came alongside to help him extend that loving experience. He had somebody to help him. The First Unitarian Congregation has done that, is doing that, and might not say has done it for a long time, at least as long as I've been around. You might not know it, but in this very facility, for many years, I managed the Workforce Initiative Program for homeless persons in this building. In this building, I had one of my youth clubs come and spend some time as we worked on a program called E-Racism. This is a rich congregation, and is rich in love and rich in peace and rich in giving. And so I want to say on behalf of Eastern Cooperative Ministry, our board, myself, all of our staff, and the people that you serve, we serve together. Can I just say thank you? And can you give yourselves a hand clap for what you do? You do know it's all right to celebrate yourself, right? It's okay. All right. So know that there are stories upon stories that can be told about the great human investment that this congregation makes. Let me say this, I'll sit down. I'm supposed to be back in my congregation, but they'll wait on me for a minute. A story is told of a man who had nothing. God gave that man 10 apples. He says, listen, you can take 9 of these apples and you can do with them whatever you want. Just make sure when you're done, give me back the 1. So the man took 3 of the apples and he went and purchased him a house. He took another 3 and he went to the store, like the mall or a plaza, and he bought all of the clothes he could get and he put it inside of the house. Then he looked at the other 3 and he said, I'm going to buy me some food. Maybe he went to McDonald's. Maybe he went to a steakhouse. He went to the grocery store and purchased a lot of food and he put it in the house. Then, walking down the street, he pulled out that 1 apple. He said, this apple is larger and prettier and more beautiful than all the rest. Why does God need this apple? He already has them all anyway. And he ate the apple and he gave God the core. That's some of the selfishness in our society, isn't it? But know that you can celebrate, because that is not a part of your spirit. That is not a part of your love. You are great people. You are doing great things. And we celebrate you for the love that you extend to others. Come on, give yourselves another hand clap. Thank you. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much.
Before we actually start the collection, I want to say that, as I said before, I have been a member of this church for a long, long time. And I am very proud to say that almost from the very beginning, one of the line items in our budget has been our annual dues for the East End Cooperative Ministry. EECM does some wonderful things. And as one of our prior ministers used to say, let's remember, charity begins at home. So, with that in mind, it's come time now to take up the collection. Every month, we share our generosity with a designated organization. This month, it's the EECM. We share our donations 50-50 with this organization unless they're otherwise designated. Our religious community is made up of volunteers and staff creating and hosting a variety of programming. We rely on your financial support. In addition to the collection plate, you can donate by texting GIVE to 412-435-1050 and following the directions. Please check at the end of the order of service for more directions. I'm going to just remind you that this is one of your last chances to make a pledge if you haven't made your pledge for the year. Those of you especially who are new members might not have gotten around to this yet. This is a good time to do it because our hardworking treasurer is going to be here a little later today telling us where these pledges are going to get us next year. So with that, I invite the ushers to come forward and we'll take up the collection.
Each of us carries in our hearts the many, many joys and celebrations of our lives. And I hope and encourage that you share them with one another. Maybe it's just one-to-one, or maybe you broadcast it on social media. But share those hopes and dreams. And each of us carries deep sorrows and regrets and concerns, and I hope that you share those as well. These are the bonds that strengthen our community and help sustain us through both the joyous as well as the sorrowful days. I invite you now into a time of personal prayer, meditation, and silence. Spirit of love, fill our hearts with your presence. Remind us of the healing power of community. With one touch, with one gentle word, with a smile, with a great big hug, we can find healing in our brokenness. Spirit of the Holy, the God of many names, who has been with us throughout the ages, we remember this presence of sacredness and worthiness of life. And we bring our voices and our love and our hearts together as we hold in those who are suffering and fearful and afraid. Today we hold the people of Syria, millions who are seeking peace, of food, to find shelter again. May peace finally be in their land after so many years of terror and war. We hold in our hearts all the people throughout the world who sit every night in terror. May they find the holiness of life returned through the gentle touch or the deep hug of another living being. The Spirit of life and love be with us now, as always, in our prayers and our deepest yearnings. Amen. Ashe. I invite you to stay seated as we sing 55, Dark of Winter.
Let my
I want to do a special shout out of gratitude from our Gavilan friends. Thank you for bringing your rich tapestry of music and your talent and your dedication. And it is just such a joy to have you, truly. So perhaps some of you came because you saw that I was going to reveal the master plan of the universe. I know what it is. I do. I didn't, in all honesty, figure it out by myself. I didn't know. I had help from Hollywood writers. Hollywood writers. I heard it on a 1990s TV series called Chicago Hope. Did anybody watch Chicago Hope? Yeah. I didn't watch it every week, but I did occasionally dabble in it, and I happened to hit the ultimate episode where it was all revealed. And maybe you caught it, the series, but you didn't realize the importance of what was being said. So this is what's happening. One of the main characters returns from the dead. He had been shot in a big drama scene the previous year. And he has appeared before, and he'd been a lawyer. I'm not sure that's relevant, but he'd been a lawyer at the hospital. And he is appearing in this hallucination to another character, the hospital administrator, who's having his own life and death crisis, right? So the episode focuses on the conversation between the dead lawyer and the hospital administrator. It's a really well-written dialogue about life and death, the universe, the galaxy, God, everything. And I have to say, it was Unitarian theology. So it really had my attention. And the lawyer at one point, through all this deep existential conversation, decides to share the master plan of the universe with the hospital administrator. And he said, with everything that he kind of revealed about what was going on in the universe and God and life and death, he kept qualifying it like a good lawyer, saying, it's more complicated than that. Well, toward the end of the episode, as viewers are shifting back and forth between this hallucinating conversation and actual real-time crisis in the emergency room with the hospital administrator, the lawyer, I don't know how, that's not important, writes down the master plan of the universe on a slip of paper and hands it to the administrator. It's hidden by the camera. The hospital administrator looks at it, looks up at the dead lawyer and says, that's it? And the dead hospital lawyer said, yeah, it's that simple. And it's more complicated than that. And of course, this being Hollywood writers, the administrator immediately has a big turn for the worse, and we go to commercial break. So there it is, the master plan of the universe, right there for audiences, is sitting on a piece of paper, and all we're getting is ads about cleaning products and deodorant. Life's long-sought question, humanity searching for over 10,000 years to these big existential questions. We've been looking up at the sky and wondering what it's all about. And for most of us, silence has been the loudest response. Now, there have been some reports of answers to a few people, and some of those people actually wrote them down and they shared them, and those then turned into rather large religious institutions. And here we are, a few thousand years later, wondering if those are the right answers or not. But here I am in the 20th century, in the 1990s, and at least for the viewers of Chicago Hope, I think the right answer is on that slip of paper. I'm sure of it. If they would just get past that ad for the new Jeep or Ford. Now, here's a spoiler alert. The hospital administrator is saved. The lawyer returns to heaven, though it's more complicated than that. And then we have the master plan of the universe is revealed. The administrator reads that piece of paper. The camera zooms in on the words. And it turns out we don't need all that religious text after all. I'm going to share it with you. And it's going out on YouTube. So you know this is going viral, right? The master plan of the universe is giving and receiving. That's it. That's it. It's that simple. And it's more complicated than that. It is. There's no trumpets, there's no parting of clouds with words in gold drifting down from the heavens. There's no loud voices of declaration. There's no angels singing of glory. The master plan of the universe is giving and receiving. We humans are the ones that make it more complicated than that. Giving and receiving, we know, go together. We give because we believe that service is a prayer. And we receive with gratitude if it's a good day and we remember to be grateful. And we're in a good enough mood to notice. Religious leaders, in fact, have been going on about this for centuries, using metaphors, stories, art, poetry, lyrics, thousands of languages. The messages have all kind of come down to this simple 3 words of giving and receiving. And pathetic as it is, I didn't really get it until I heard it in that plain, simple language and a dramatic TV show in prime time. It was gentle. I let it sink in. It was clear. And I like thinking about it. Giving and receiving. I like saying it. I like hearing it. I like letting it rest on my lips. Giving, receiving. We make things so complicated with our ego and our pride, our tendency to shame, our self-hatred and guilt, and all that relentless quest for power and control, which is really a survivor story. We are so fearful of appearing weak, incompetent, ignorant, insulting of others, or offending somebody. We fear the other as much as we fear ourselves. And another complication here in the Western Hemisphere is our absurd attachment to individualism. Anybody here a cowboy? It's one of my favorite myths, the cowboy, individualism. It looks an awful like isolationism and nationalism in its worst form. Individualism fundamentally undermines the religious community, and then I am potentially out of a job. The best of religious community requires us to accompany one another as we give and we receive with love and compassion and joy. Religious community requires us to bear witness to one another, to at times to give and be in solidarity with one another, or even to move in as an advocate when somebody is truly needing our help. When oppression has woven its way into our lives, we are required to help. So here's the reality check, though. If giving and receiving truly is the master plan of the universe, and I'm going with it, we are compelled to help one another, even when we are in pain, even when we're scared and hurt. We are compelled even when we're angry as all get out at the world and the universe. In fact, those are tools to help transform our pain and to heal one another. If we are deeply hurt, we are called upon to heal ourselves with the love that we receive, and then we can give it back in this healing, beautiful cycle of transformation from one another. For where there is anger, there is energy for change. And where there is fear, there's a crucible moment of transformation for hospitality. So here's an ancient story that's been around for many, many, many centuries. An ancient story found in the book of Genesis, the Hebrew scriptures, where Abraham is living in the hot desert, where hospitality rules because it's about survival every single day. Abraham has 3 visitors appear before him, and he has no clue what's about to hit him, that this is a radical moment of change and transformation because a deity-size act of generosity. He does what he must in the desert. He bows before those strangers. He bows before them in respect. An exchange of greetings is offered of peace. Salam, shalom. Welcome. The stranger's feet are washed as you're invited into the home, and they are given a feast with other meager offerings that the host has. Life and death are on the line in the desert, and giving and receiving are the rule of the land. Sometimes I think today it feels like maybe we're living in a desert. Hospitality, we may at moments feel like it's been abandoned. We're searching for hope in a world filled with an empty landscape and little nourishment for our heart and mind and body. Yet I believe it is in our DNA to reach out to one another when we are lost in the wilderness. It is in our DNA to bow to one another with respect to another living being, because we need one another. Ever since I found the master plan of the universe, it's been over 25 years ago now, I have been going with this plan. It's an easy plan. It has 2 gerunds, active verbs. They're not passive, they're not nouns. They're really quite easy to put this in my framework of my life of giving and receiving, and that we're compelled to do it every moment. It's really not a plan at all when you think about it. It's a way of being. It's a way of existing. It's not items on a list to do. The plan calls for to reach out from the depths of my heart and my mind. It invites me to let go of my fears, of my ego, of my pride, and my sacred individualism, and I have a good dose of that. It pushes me to go past my comfort zone into the unknown and the trusting that all will not be lost. And since this is December, let me offer a guiding story that has been with me, and I suspect with you for a long time. From the Christian scriptures, there's the story of Jesus, who is following, you may notice, the master plan of the universe. Jesus is giving and receiving, and on his journey which is all about the relentless pursuit of unraveling the oppression of his day. He stops in his busy life. He stops and he pauses and he turns when he sees a blind man. And he bows in respect, and he sees a human being, not a sinner. He sees a human being in respect, and the blind man receives that gift and is healed. Jesus gave of himself, and the man received the healing. It's an uncomplicated story in a really complicated time in history that has withheld the test of time and really is not about truth, is it? Did it really happen? Of course it did. And it happens every single day. It is so beautiful in its simplicity and its honesty. And I think we can see that same miracle, if you will, every single day if we choose to see it. And we just had some wonderful testimony from our guests from EECM about the beautiful ministry of giving and receiving. And when we choose to see the countless acts of generosity and compassion in our beautiful, beautiful world, we can find ourselves being healed from our own desperation, from our own despair, from our own struggles with hope. Because most days, let's admit it, our days are full of chaotic energy, and if it's a good day, it's only mayhem. We wake up each day and we are called to give and to receive. Call it the gracious cycle of life. When we are born to the day we die and everything in between, we are called to give and receive. We are called in little moments, little holy moments, and that sacredness of the time of true reciprocity from body to body and heart to heart. The giving and receiving, let's be clear, is not a transactional deal. It's not an exchange of material gifts or even a Hallmark card. It's about seeing the worthiness in the other. It's about celebrating and affirming that worthiness in the other and the sacred relationship between us and in the presence of love surrounding us. So here you are. I now have shared the master plan of the universe, which begins with one beautiful gift. You. You. That's where it begins. The best gift ever. And then me. And then we turn toward each other and we're in relationship in that sacred cycle of giving and receiving. Our theme of the month is to be a blessing to one another. To be present, to be faithful, and an invitation to be the best of who we can be. So, my beloved, let's not make it more complicated than that. May it be so. Blessed be, and amen. I invite you, one of my favorite Shaker tunes, 16, "'Tis a Gift to Be Simple." I invite you to bring your voices together as we extinguish the chalice. The words are found in your heart as well as our program. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth. The warmth of unity, the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Go forth into this world, my beloved. Go forth into this world to give and receive. Return again with love. Blessed be.
Thank you all for welcoming us today. It's not on. I'll try and speak louder. If anyone would like to check out the instruments, we can hang out for a couple of minutes before we have to clean up. Please come say hi, and please reach out. My name is Dr. Jay Arms, the founder and director of the Gamelan here. We're an open ensemble. If you'd like to check us out, we meet here on Sunday evenings. Please, you can find my email in the program if you want to reach out and learn more and get involved. We'd love to see you. Thank you so much.